Have you dreamed about owning your own home, but you don't know where to begin, and you don't exactly have a big pile of cash laying around in the bank so you can do that? Well, we're going to go over the pre-approval process with you today.
Yes, 8 steps that will happen to help you to get pre-approved or pre-qualified to purchase a home.
So stick around with us. After our intro here, we'll get into these steps. We thank you for joining us today. Whether you're looking to buy today, tomorrow, or sometime in the near future, we're here for you and to help you through that whole process. You can reach out to us. We are licensed Florida realtors, but right now we'll give you all the information at the end of the video about how to reach out to us. But right now we're going to get into these 8 steps of the pre-approval process.
First of all, they're going to ask you to check your credit score. Now, you can check your own credit score. You can go on the internet on a site called Credit Karma and check your own if you want to see what it is. It helps to have a credit score of 620 or above. That's what the lenders are looking for. You can get better rates if your credit is higher.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between these terms that, realtors may ask you? Or, are you pre-approved or pre-qualified? What's the difference?
Basically, the difference is they're going to just look lightly to get you pre-qualified, what you're bringing in, what your monthly bills are. But to get pre-qualified is a little more deeper dive.
You mean pre-approved?
That would be to get pre-approved, they do a light search. But to get pre-qualified, they're going to look deeper into all your finances. And that's really a good thing, because when you get to the end, you want to know for certain you're in good shape to go ahead and buy.
Yes, because pre-qualified, they do this deep dive and everything, make sure that you have a good credit score, make sure that your outgoing is not more than your incoming, because they want to make sure before they pre-qualify you and loan you this huge amount of money that you have a good employment record and everything, and that you're able to pay the loan back, you're able to pay the money back.
Yes, they in the pre-qualification process, they're going to begin to do the underwriting, which is the last step that they do before you actually can go ahead and purchase.
Yes, and that includes gathering financial documents, like your recent pay stubs, your employment history. For how long does your employment history have to be?
For at least for the last 2 years. They would like to see that you have worked in the same place or at least in the same field of employment. And also they'll ask you for bank statements, recent bank statements.
And that can also include, if you're self-employed, that could include your income tax history.
Yes.
They may ask for your tax returns.
Your tax returns for the past 2 years, they can ask you for that.
Yes.
Okay, and then they're going to, step 3 would be determining your budget. In other words, how much money are you bringing in every month? How much money is going out every month? What are your monthly bills, your regular monthly bills? So, they can determine what can you really afford.
Yes, yes. And then step 4, you would need to complete the loan application.
Yes.
That includes either getting with your banker, getting with a
mortgage lender, a credit union, one of those kind of people.
Yes, where you have the opportunity to give away all your personal information, so they can do a deep dive on you, and that way see if you can qualify to receive the loan for they'll give you the amount that you're qualified for. Then you can start looking for a home in that area. Within that budget.
Right. And so, at this point, they're going to submit you to a credit check, a hard credit check. So that's important. And then they're going to review your loan terms with you, how much they'll lend you over how much time.
Yes, because you could get a 30-year mortgage, you could get a 15-year mortgage, It depends on you. It depends on your income. Depends on how you want it. Whatever you're looking for.
What can you handle?
What can you handle exactly?
Right.
And as a consumer, you should shop around too. You should shop around at different financial institutions and to see what kind of interest rates they're offering and different factors and everything like that, because it's totally up to you, the consumer. That's why there's many options out there, so you don't have to feel like you need to go to your own bank. I mean, you can if you want to, but there's a lot of different options out there. And that's the freedom that we have in this country, that you have all these different options where you can shop around and look around. It's kind of like when you go to the store and you want to go and buy a new car, you kind of have in mind what you want, but you may go to the car lot and you may see other options and start looking around at different things and test driving different things, asking different questions. It's the same way with the loan approval process. You can go, you can shop around and see what they're offering.
You can call your lender and ask for a loan estimate. And you can get a couple of those and compare them to see, how is it benefiting you?
Yes. And that's before you get to this point. And after you get to all that, step 6 where we're at here is, you can review the loan terms, and if you don't like the terms, you can ask for some changes or whatever, or you can back out of it and say, no, I don't want to get a loan here. I'm going to look around. I'm going to get a second opinion.
Maybe, over here looks a little better. So at this point, you should receive your pre-approval or pre-qualification letter. And that would be step 7. Step 8 would be stay financially stable. Don't go running out and buying a big ticket item. Don't go buying a new truck, a new car, a large purchase. It's going to throw the balance off here of what they have determined you can afford.
Yes, because they dig into all that kind of stuff.
Also, if you have, recently applied for your taxes and you're getting a good amount of money on your taxes, don't run out and go spend it. Save it to get you through the process. Your funds will be needed.
Yes, because determining on what kind of loan you're getting, because they have different kind of loans. They have FHA if you're a veteran, VA loans, and if you have like a conventional loan, a lot of times conventional loans, they want you to have 20% down payment for the purchase of the property.
Conventional loans, often what they'll do 3% down, 10% down, or 20% down. And so you can go in lower with that, but if you go in higher, then you don't have to pay the mortgage insurance fee. So those are things to think about and discuss with your lender. So anyway, we want to think long term. Buying a home is a long-term commitment, usually 15 to 30 years. So don't just think about your immediate needs. Consider your future lifestyle and how your new home is going to fit into it. Ask yourself some questions. Will this home suit my needs for 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, especially if you're a young couple, maybe you just got married and you're thinking on having a family. You have to look down the road a little bit. How many children do I want to have? So you think ahead. How big of a home am I going to need as we start, reproducing and having children?
Right. Also ask yourself, how easy will it be to sell this home if I need to? Markets change. At times it favors the buyer, at times it favors the seller. And so it's good to consider these things. What if you have to sell the home in a few years? Will you be able to?
Yeah, and you have to think about the neighborhood of where you're buying a home. What's the potential of the appreciation of the neighborhood where you're buying into also?
Right. Is it a desired community? Is it a place where, sales happen frequently? You want to know that you will be able to resell your home if you need to. Spring is also a great time to find a home. That's the favorite time for people to go shopping because the weather's great and we get into the end of the school year. But you want to think about your long-term goals. You want to think about your down payment. how you're going to come up with your down payment, how much is your down payment. You want to think about these things.
Yes, and it's springtime now. What a better time now than to buy. And if you're looking to do that, you can contact us and we'll give you that information at the end.
Right. And also, you will have loan costs from the lender. So you need to think about that, but you also need to think about closing costs. How much are the closing costs going to be for you? And
yeah, and going back to thinking, like, if you're a young family, excuse me, and you're looking towards your future, building a family, you gotta look at the neighborhood too, research school districts and everything, and a real estate professional like us can help you do all that. You know, what are the schools like in the area? Where do you want to be sending your children to school? Or you may be considering homeschooling, but these are all just things you have to consider when buying a home. Is the neighborhood at a high traffic area where there may be a lot of noise and you want a peaceful place? I know we was working with one guy a while back, and he was looking at several different homes, and he was a cash buyer, and there was one home really nice. He really loved it, but it was just like right off the backside of Crosstown Parkway, and you could hear the traffic going by on Crosstown. And that right there, just he didn't want that home because of that. He could hear that traffic. He said, "Nope, I want a place where it's peaceful, where I can't hear this traffic going by sounding like an interstate highway."
right, there's a lot of things to consider, and that's why it's important to go to see the property so that you can make those kind of determinations. Do you like where it's situated? Do you like the noise? What kind of school system are you able to get your children into?
Yes.
So anyway, final thoughts on this. Spring can be an exciting and rewarding time to go look. But it's also important to approach the process with clear understanding of what you're getting into. By staying within your budget, acting quickly when necessary, and doing thorough research, you can find a home that meets your needs and also offers long-term value.
Yes, and also, you're looking for your dream home, and you may not ever been through this process before. That's why it's good to reach out to like real estate professionals, because we have the information to point you in the right direction. We can suggest different lenders, different mortgage companies, inspectors, the whole 9 yards from beginning to end. We can help you through this process, so it's not like one big mystery to you. And we can give you advice, but it's ultimately up to you, the consumer, to take the advice that we're given and you apply it and do something with it. But that's what we're here for, to serve the community, to serve the people, and help you in any way we can.
Yes, as a professional realtors, we can often look at a certain listing and see what the issues are going to be quickly. For example, right now, the age of the roof is a very important issue right now. If our roof is close to 20 years or 20 years, the insurance companies are going to want that roof redone. If you're coming in with a loan, it's likely not going to be possible to get that done before the closing. So those are things that have to be considered. It can be written into the contract for the seller to redo that roof prior to closing if they're willing, but those are things that have to be considered. Our desire is to take stress off of our customers. We want to remove the stress off of you so that it's a pleasant experience to go through.
Yeah, and you might also may not be looking to buy a home that's already been built and on the market. You may be looking for a brand new home. We can help you with that too, because we know of all the builders in our area here, and we can take you around to show you the builders and everything, and all the places. If you want a brand new home where you just want to have a house built, and that way everything's good and sound, and you won't have any issues like right away.
Yes, there's many options. So if you're thinking about all these things, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call.
Yes, we thank you for watching today, and our contact information is in the comments below, but you can also find it in the description of the video. And again, we're here for you. We are Florida licensed realtors, and we're here to help you through this process from beginning to end. And we thank you for watching, and until next time, this is
Living on Florida's Treasure Coast.
yes. Bye for now.